Hey there guys, welcome to another Getting Personal. Topic today that I want to discuss is letting go. This is something where essentially letting go of things is ultimately getting to that point of life where things flow. Oftentimes in life, if majority of times in your life, if you just let go of a feeling, of a thing, it could be even just a job or a person, anything, you are essentially able to assess things moving forward a lot easier. There's that really famous line in Fight Club where they're driving in the car and it's kind of like with Tyler and I forgot the other character's name, Tyler Durden and Edward Norton are talking, right? Pretty much Brad Pitt and Edward Norton are talking about pretty much letting go in life, trying your best to let the chips fall where they may, let it go, let things just fall, right? Because what happens from that is it's like a, I'm not sure if you would say it's a byproduct of things availing themselves, because emotionally you become so attached to holding on to things that you overlook what opportunities come from letting go. And these things, you are just wasting time in that present moment of holding on to something that you think you can hold on to. And this like, the analogy is that they're in the car and they're driving, right? And they're just going, well, what happens if you let go? What happens if you just let go of everything? Could it be as bad as you think it could be? I know in the movie they end up crashing the car, but guess what? None of them died, right? It's a really good analogy for saying that you might crash and burn a bit, but you're not going to die, right? Oftentimes we feel like from letting go of things, it's like the end of the world. We think like this is done, this is done and dusted. But human beings are incredibly resilient. We're incredibly strong. And by letting go, your mindset will be so much healthier. You are not stressing yourself. You essentially, if you worry about every little thing, it will attack you in a reverse way, because you're essentially your thoughts, right? You need to govern your thoughts. You need to realize your thoughts are just as if you could call them phantom thoughts in a way that, I don't know, I'm trying to think of an analogy to say that these thoughts are very much not real, and trying to think perhaps if they're not actually there. They're phantoms, right? They're byproducts of your upbringing, genetic traits, things that you've seen on TV, things that you read on the internet. They're false thoughts. They're not real, right? And letting go will just let the human condition flow, right? Stop trying to govern yourself. We got here through thousands, if not millions of years of evolution, right? We have to think like there is a point where letting go will bring out an amazing opportunity of flow. And oftentimes, yes, we can plan for our lives, but we can only plan so much. And the best way to do it is to go off your goal. Just be like, I want to do this, I want to do that. These are my goals. But you cannot control the outcomes along the way. The more you try and do that, it will probably just rip things apart, because you aren't assessing the current situation for what it is. And if you get stuck, then opportunities around you will then disappear. And those opportunities are oftentimes the best opportunities to take. So letting go will just free up your mind as well. If you're so obsessed with attaching yourself to a thing, an idea or a past event, let go of it, because the future is moving forward with life and then seeing what is going to come from it. Oftentimes it sounds corny, but it's just being happy and let go of that thing you're so, I don't know, it could be anything. It can be anything. Like losing a job, having to do things that are maybe going against what you currently want. And so you have to just let go of it. And you never know, you might actually enjoy it. You don't know. You might see yourself, if you let go of the emotion towards something, oftentimes maybe you're just wound up in a phantom thought. And that can be really just, your thoughts are not necessarily actually, a lot of times it's not, your thoughts and feelings aren't really what you think and feel at times. You could be simply just low and you could be like, so for example, you could be depressed, right? And those depressed thoughts aren't really you. Because you could say, well, this is not me. Why would I want to function in a depressed state? So you wouldn't attach that yourself to those things. You would want to detach yourself. And it's a really good example. So, and if you let those thoughts flow, but don't attach yourself to those thoughts, it's like we are terrible masters of ourselves. We always tend to go off on the most ludicrous ideas or feelings and emotions, and a lot of times, you would say 90% of the times, nothing will come from it. And letting things flow is ultimately like, the quicker you let it flow, the quicker you can move forward with those things, and you're going to feel happy. You'll find a point where no matter what, you'll feel happy. You'll get to that point where you wouldn't be able to think you could, but you can. It's just looking on that. It sounds like that stereotypical thing of saying looking on the bright side of life and letting it flow. Because the more you try and control stuff, it just gets worse and worse and worse. And let it, be that flow in your life. Let it flow. People will also be more attracted to you in a weird way, because you're not that person so wound up on stuff, and people will want to kind of interact, and through social connection, opportunities for more flow will come to you. And a lot of times, if you're that person who's just wound up in an idea or a past event, and you're screwing yourself over, no, you won't. You're not going to be pleasant. You're going to be anxious. You're going to be probably slightly angry, maybe sad. And I guess these things are not qualities of socializing with others, and we're social creatures. So you can always see the person who takes things in life and flows along with them, and not getting stuck on past events or future events too much. They're very, I wouldn't say they're very positive people, but they're people you would want to associate yourself with, because they have something to teach you. And it's just the conditioning of oneself, conditioning of your mind and body. Oftentimes we forget that we need to condition ourselves. We need to go through those really hard moments of conditioning, and those things will make us stronger. You won't see it in the duration in the meantime, but you'll come out of it and you'll think, okay, well, I feel more conditioned now. I feel like this is a new me, and I feel different. And this is essentially what you want from life. You could think about how something is so crap, or you could think about how something is so great from being so crap, and realizing that your navigation around your current situation in life moving forward will be much more strategic, much more informed, much more aware, and you'll probably be much more happier too, because the way you're viewing things, the bigger the problem, the bigger the lesson. And this is probably what you want. Either you want lots of little mini problems to teach you lots of little lessons, or you just want one big thing to fundamentally shake you at your core, is to essentially go through every part of your mind and vacuum up the crap, vacuum up the crumbs that you've left in the past, where you've attached yourself so many times to controlling things, and you've chipped away at other people and yourself, and you're going in and assessing all the things that you've ever done in your life, where essentially if you just let things flow, you can be like, wow, like things would have come to me so much easier. And that's the hardest thing to believe. If you let things flow, things will come easier. That's the hardest thing to con yourself into telling yourself. Like, you don't want to have to tell yourself the fact that if you let things flow, life would be easier. That just sounds ridiculous. It does. It sounds asinine. But oftentimes that's how it works. It would be easier because your control is harder to control something. You cannot control the outcome of something. If you let it flow, it will be, and whatever it will be, will be. And oftentimes you trying to control a situation will just make you feel toxic and just beat you down. And that's not good for anyone. It's not good for you. It's not good for the people around you. It's not good for your loved ones or anyone else. And learning that, either you're going to learn it now, or you learn it from me telling you, but oftentimes you have to go through it. I can only inform you of things, and that's the problem. The human condition is to learn all by itself. And this is to perhaps, maybe you'll go through something, and then you'll come back and you'll watch this, and then it will start clicking with you. Or you've just gone through it, and then you'll be like, yeah, and you'll just get a little bit more extra information. Because oftentimes we're not aware of things until we go through them, and then we end up learning after we've gone through them to then build up more information, more knowledge on those things, and add to the learning that we went through, because we become open-minded. Our level of consciousness opens up. So I'm going to leave that there, and I hope you guys get something out of this. And yeah, if you guys still like this content, like and subscribe to it. And until next time, guys, just let everything flow. You'll be better off. You'll be happier. You'll be just so much more grateful to your life, and the people around you will be grateful to you too. So, all right, guys, take care.